Hi, um, I'm Sam, and welcome to my second video in my coaching series. And these are segments that come from actual conversations with clients, and of course, the names are confidential. But the information is packed full, and I want to share it with you. So the topic of I was recently speaking with a client, and considering the time of year, we're in spring, and this particular client reached out to me because he is in love, and he's been in this relationship now for 7 months, and he is over the top in love with a woman, and he's never experienced this before, and he's having all kinds of feelings and emotions, and they're all new and they're all raging inside him, and he's never done this, and what he's finding is that his underneath his animal is coming up and wanting to destroy something, and it scared him, and so he reached out to me to try to understand what is going on here, because he feels like he was going to push her away, and he didn't want to do that, and he was scared, and he was so scared because he was so in love. So what we talked about initially was the nature of love, and there's two ways that we usually are interacting with love initially. There's the looking for love, or trying to get love, looking for a partner, and then there is having love, or being in the actual experience of love, being loved and loving. So you're no longer searching and trying to acquire love. You're actually now in the real experience. You're in the experience of love, which is very different than thinking about trying to find love or the actions to get somebody to love you. It's a much stiller and quieter place, and it often fools us because there's less to do. And our production-oriented mind that to know how to do things is kind of messed with. It's not happy. It's not happy because there's no longer something to acquire and something to attain. So we talked about what is it like to him and being in love, in the experience of love. And not having to do anything more, and it's sitting in the experience of having love, having the love, the freedom to love this woman that he's now that has been wanting to fall in love with a woman for a long time, having that now in his life, and being loved by this woman, that she wants to love him. He doesn't have to do anything more for it. He's convinced her. She said yes. And now he has to learn how to feel the having of it. But because we're not so good at having, we keep on trying to rush back to the getting. Sometimes you can connect it to our obsessive mind, our addictive behavior of wanting to do something. But I think it's because we're young there. Love is something that we're very young with. We want it at a very young place in our hearts, and it's passion and it's fear and it's a lot of feelings and emotions that we're all familiar with. So in one of our recent conversations, we talked about that in our society, we learn how to do things to get good at it before we actually do it, so we can do it well. So if you use the example of a driver's license, which we're all familiar with, getting your driver's license, we're all familiar with the steps that we've taken or have to take to get your driver's license. Get your permit for 6 months, practice driving, practice with someone, then go getting your driver's license, being able to drive with only certain people, and then maybe in 6 months to a year after having your driver's license at 17 or whatever the age, then you have full driving privileges. Well, think about that in relationship to love, that there's no school to go to learn how to be good at love, to get a driver's license, that now you know how to love. Now you know how to be in love. There's a certification here. You are certified. The state of love has certified you, and you can now go love. Go love. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. We're left up to our own because it's our hearts that's driving us. This unexplainable force is driving us to something, to feel something, but we don't know how to do it. And that is where we are not happy often, is when we don't know how to do things. That's where we think we have to struggle. And in my conversation with this guy, we talked about that if he'd be willing to feel what love is, to actually sit in the experience of what it's like for him to have this woman love him completely, and for him that he loves her fully, then there's no struggle, because he's now inside the experience of the love instead of relating to the judgment of the feelings that are coming with the love. He's now getting filled up. He's allowing himself to experience and learning how to do love by learning how to feel more, learning how to allow someone to see more of him, and learning how to see more of someone else. So in this time of spring where we're getting enticed and the feelings are coming around, and we've come out of winter and now we're ready to take it all off and have people see us and be seen, and we're seducing and being seduced, my suggestion is allow yourself the pleasure of love, allow yourself of once you have the love, to recognize the difference once you've got that you're in your experience, you got what you wanted, to now there's the allowing yourself to get filled up with what you have. Allow yourself to be in the experience of being loved, and allow yourself to be in the experience of loving. And there's actually less to do, and you'll get your own certification, you'll get your own license, because you'll recognize the maturity that you're developing over time, that you can now, that you have this skill, and that it's okay, and that you'll find your way here, to trust yourself fully, that you can do this, and you can love, and you're allowed to have love. Okay, thanks.